Daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play. Option Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Dan, what's the Panera drink of choice right now? Just a black coffee and
Kind of just stay with the drip coffee. When you're older, you like the drip coffee. I'm not.
Yeah.
I know everybody. Even I was getting coffee today. I just had my drip coffee, and the guy next to me, I go, he's a 60, 70-year-old guy, and I'm thinking he's a drip coffee guy. He's got this fancy little thing that like my daughter would drink or something. I said, "What is that? That actually looks good, like a latte milk." What? I don't know. I still don't get to this. What's all this latte? It's this beautiful concoction.
yeah.
But what I don't understand is that beautiful concoction, which is just a drink, and this is another discussion, is more expensive than a normal lunch, right? So it's like, have you seen in your era? I mean, do you remember when you were kids, drinks these days? You go in, the drinks are as much as a sandwich. And I'm not talking about alcoholic.
Listen.
I like that we're continuing on right where we left off yesterday.
Starbucks.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
This is Starbucks. They turned ice cream and got predominantly American women to drink ice cream in coffee and pay $5 for it.
Oh,
changed the world.
They got. I love it. What's it called?
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it changed the world.
Yeah,
and I've never had any. I had a vanilla frappuccino one time. I used to go to Starbucks to work in my former life all the time, and I would just get bottle of water, smallest bottle of water they had, just because you got to patronize the place you're working.
Yeah.
And but that's the demographic. I don't think I'm saying anything earth-shattering here.
No,
I changed the world. Troy?
Yeah.
Troy, am I wrong?
The first time my grandpa, rest in peace, he saw my Starbucks drink and he said, "How much was that?"
Yeah, how much was it?
I said it was $6. And it wasn't one of those things where he was like, "Huh, crazy kids." He genuinely, this was the first time I'd ever done it. He genuinely was like, "What did you say?" Like he was.
Oh yeah.
Like, is there a mistake?
Is there a mistake?
Yeah. Like it was a mind-shattering thing. Speaking of mind-shattering, listen, I'm inside the house today. My dog is like, he will not leave me alone. I mean, you guys wanted to see
there
him.
He is.
There he is.
Hey, Bubba. Is that his toy on the ground?
Yeah, he's inconsolable right now. He just won't. It's like he knows that I'm with people, but he can't find the people. That's the level of intelligence we're working with here.
He wants to make money trading options, Troy.
Yeah, I do. But I do. Hey,
Rexy.
That's about the level of obedience we've got going. There it is.
Oh,
all right. So, okay.
Assume the position.
Yeah, assume the position. So we had a good day, traveled back, had some fun stuff. I put a little teaser in the Discord channel if you're new to Option Omega. We're going to be making an announcement later today about the Christmas variety show. I want to confirm real quick just what I think we heard with the chat heard us say yesterday. Matt, you're going to play guitar on this, right?
I don't think that's confirmed.
Come on, I got a request already. Felici, what is Jose Felici?
Navidad.
You got to crank one out.
Chat, if you want Matt to confirm this, get in there. It's not going to happen if the chat doesn't get involved. So
I love, what I see. See, now I don't mean to say anything crazy here, but I do know that now I don't know if Rusty, but you two have pretty good musical talent. I know Troy does also. Is there any chance we could get the three of you to maybe tell me if I'm out of line here, but the three of you to do a little piece? What does Rusty play?
Trumpet.
Oh, wow.
He won't admit to it. I don't know if he has a trumpet, but he did play. He was first chair in high school.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I'd like to put a request. Can we get the three of you to
You're gonna have to ask. Pretend like I didn't tell you. Pretend that you knew that on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Do something. And really the way to do it with him would be like, Dan, you should be like, have you ever noticed that trumpet players just suck?
Oh,
that would be the way, like, get him like that, you know.
Good way to start the morning. Yeah.
Well, listen, speaking of the morning, the market has gotten into its Christmas news. Like a newborn baby born in December, the market just sleeps 20 to 22 hours a day right now. It's just not doing anything, right? Now it got a little spicy. I suppose we weren't watching the market hard like yesterday, but it got a little spicy yesterday, Dan. We were down 35 at some point.
Oh yeah, huge down move.
Huge down move.
Got the VIX up to what? What did VIX go up 18? But you know what? You settle when you're, because the market's been going up most of the last 2-3 weeks, pretty every day. So if you're in the market and you have some type of trade on range bound, I'm not talking about short puts, some short deltas. So yesterday, it's like your first reprieve that some of your short, you kind of move the other way a little bit, but it was kind of a whimsy type move by the end of the day, right? I mean, but that's what we settle for. It's like, that's about the extent of the down move. But, there might be, again, you have catalysts in the water this week with the FOMC. Could be a nothing burger, but it could get the juices going a little bit. I mean, I think we just need, it's one of those things, Troy and Matt, I think, forget the news. If there was no news out there, we're up 330 points in 3 weeks, over 2 standard deviation. You need a day of rain. We're not saying we need to go at a 10% correction, but you need a good 100-point move to get everybody on their toes a little bit in one day, right? Just get a little VIX. So I'm still looking for that. I mean,
you don't want the kids to get bored. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Right.
Now, I think probably, just knowing different option strategies, I imagine if you're selling iron condors, you're having a pretty good couple weeks, would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the range,
but you don't have the range. You don't have the
like 0-day iron condor folk. You're right. I mean, they'd rather have, or some of them would rather have the high vol because you get more room. You could get 100 points each side if you get the VIX in the 20s, but it comes with a price, right? To get a VIX in the 20s, the market's starting to get hammered a bit. But, when you look at a two-way, but a little volatile, a little bit of premium the last 2-3 weeks, overall, I would say that's been pretty good for the 0-day type stuff. But you got to be careful. A lot of it's timing, wouldn't you say, if you put something on at the opening yesterday for a 0-day, let's say iron condor, you don't want the range to be too much, right? Overall, the last 3 weeks, we've had ranges in SPX of, 70, 80, 90, 100, like it's coming out of, like it's water flowing. So those aren't, unless you have enough volatility or juice, you could get hurt on those things. But I was going to ask you guys real quick. I was thinking about this. Does this, from a news, I was saying with Matt, the news, NVIDIA, Trump allows NVIDIA can sell to China. Is that a precedent? I don't follow that much with all that. I'm not used to the president getting involved with sales to China for a company. Do you got any, Matt, you're a businessman in Troy. What do you guys see? Anything on that or any?
I mean, the whole framing of this is almost more of like a national security.
Oh, is that what okay.
Kind of trade war type setup. And it's what chips are going to be allowed. It's pretty interesting. We had some talks the other day, Rusty and Troy and I, about this AI chip thing, because it's interesting because NVIDIA is the big dog. AMD has a little bit, but Google is the other one that has. They have a chip solution. It's a different type of chip. It's a TPU rather than a GPU, because for years, NVIDIA, I'm not saying they're lucky, but the timing was good, because 20 years ago, nobody knew who NVIDIA was except me and all my buddies who were buying NVIDIA for our computers that we were building. And then people realized you could mine Bitcoin with it. And then people realized, oh, you can run LLMs with GPUs really, really well. So, I mean, NVIDIA's rise from a, computer hardware, GPU, chip maker to what they are today there will be many books about it. It's quite incredible.
Yeah. I think that I think it's NVIDIA, to me, it was like the first wave of AI stuff. And I feel like their valuation, I think we're talking about, I think Matt said this yesterday. I mean, their valuation is such that like crazy things would have to happen with AI for it to make sense what their valuation is.
Wow.
And I just don't think that's going to manifest in the next 12 to 16 months. And so I think, here's the thing about Google too. Google, this is the main kind of narrative that I'm interested in. NVIDIA, all these people, their accounting is kind of wonky. Michael Burry talks about this. Google has cash. Like Google, one thing we know about Google is they produce a lot of cash.
I mean, here's and listen, we don't usually do this kind of discussion on the show. I mean, maybe a little bit more with the modeling tool. If this is stuff you guys want to see more of or less of, just let us know in the chat.
Hit that like and just hit that
or tell us stop talking about this. But Google is in an interesting spot because all roads from AI kind of run through Google at some point, as far as the ecosystem that exists now. Like the people who are in AI, most of them were Google people at some point, and Google has the hardware. And the problem is Google has Gemini, which I'm not into the token optimization between ChatGPT and Grok and Gemini and Claude. There's plenty of people who can talk about that, but Google could I'm not saying they could win the whole thing if they wanted, but they're in an interesting spot because they have all these resources. But the problem is a lot of what they're replacing is their own core product. In search, it is kind of the dream product. It costs very little to run. It's insanely profitable, and Google has nearly a monopoly. When is the last time you guys went to anything other than Google to search something? So it's tough because as AI takes over more of that search, they're eating out of their own bowl. So Troy, you got a back test?
I do have a back test.
This is called a hard cut.
I was about to say Rex is very interested in NVIDIA's
Rex is
so,
very good.
All right. So real quick, let me do this real quick. Let's go to one of these bad boys. And what I'm going to do is first show you something. Matt, I think you muted.
Yeah, I was just reading the comment. Somebody said, I want to talk exclusively about macros fundamentals, I think, from Tom. Oh, okay, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe another show.
Oh, dude, the manufacturing with Matt show.
No.
Yeah, well, I like that.
Talk manufacturing.
I would love
listen,
a manufacturing. Oh my gosh, I would love a manufacturing with Matt show. Manufacturing with Matt, Wednesdays at like 11:50 p.m.
Troy's gonna meme this into existence.
11:50 p.m. Like a 30-minute. Anyway, because it's a third shift. People who work third shift will understand it. All right,
there we go.
Okay, so
here's a model.
This is a model. What is this model? This is a double calendar. Don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's a calendar that's doubled. It's a put calendar. Well, I will. It's a put calendar. It's a call calendar. It's double calendar. Now, we talk a lot about double calendars. Just a reminder, what we've been doing We started with the 1428 double calendar. We're going back, reviewing some of the small account challenge tests that have been presented, and we're getting our nation of researchers to improve these trades. Okay. So this is a Monday double calendar. What's going on? Wait, this is actually in progress right now, right? This is in trade. This is something I'm trading. So what are we looking for? Well, as it stands right now, I need it to really follow that price action of the cloud, the P&L cloud. I need the price to go up. And for modeling, people who are new to modeling, like, how do you determine what it is? There's a couple of different ways people look at this stuff. They say, well, I want it to go to these by the end. Yes. But if you want to exit before that, you need it to go to where this little ghost is going, the P&L, right? And if you notice where that little ghost is going, it's going towards that call tent. Now, at the bottom, right towards the end, almost the last day, you might be able to make some money on the put side. But this exclusively, probably, unless vol rises, which we haven't talked about.
Let's talk about that.
Unless vol rises, then you're in a different boat, right? Then you might be able to get a little bit, right? But assuming vol stays where it is, we need this to be a call calendar rather than a put calendar by the end. And I said this yesterday. That's kind of something I'm researching right now, because I have found a lot of my DCs, as vol's just kind of steady, are doing that. That little thing right there is what kind of I'm banking on. Matt, Dan, I don't know if you've noticed that in some of your calendars, double calendars.
Yeah.
But do your calendars seem to do well when both price and vol are up?
Yeah. Dan, go ahead. This
No,
is your
go
world.
Matt, Matt knows this. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You want that. That's why. Just a couple quick thoughts, Troy and Matt, on this. Are the deltas on this trade that you put this on yesterday, right?
I can't even remember. I can look at it here.
It was a Monday.
Yeah, this was put on Monday, and
Okay.
it was put on at 3:05 p.m.
Okay, so Monday at 3:05 p.m., which would be 2:05 Central. And I think I just want to say something. When you start out these graphs, I think of, and what would you say the deltas were on the shorts when you did this, or what was the test?
Well, we'll look at the test here in a second, but it's a 20 delta each
20
side.
both sides.
Yep.
I think where people need to get used to this type of a calendar, and I like them. At first, I didn't do these till I met you guys, as far as the short term.
I feel like that's what a drug addict says. I never did this before I met
Until
you.
I saw the drugs that you guys had, and I liked the drugs that you guys had. Yeah, but this 1-3, whereas I think of, again, the famous line in the movie by Jack Nicholson, or who said it, you can't handle the truth. And when I first looked at this, you've got this, if you look at the expiration graph, there's a sea of death there. There's a sag, right? Here we're looking at this, even after an hour of trading yesterday coming into today, you're already up 6%, right? So it's, you look in the middle, but that's the, people look at that and say, well, I wouldn't do that because of the middle of the graph sags. But again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You either want, if you want to have a nice middle of the graph, say goodbye to those shorts, right? Bring those suckers in, and now you're vulnerable. So I think that's one thing. But the other thing is, the other thing would be, Troy, maybe address here a little bit. You have a 20 delta on, you said on both. Typically in a year, the one principle that we always learned, at least when I was in the trading pits, had to get that in it, because you mentioned time.
You were in the
I was in the pits, but we didn't have the best backtesting tool,
world-class modeling,
world-class modeling tool at the time. Yeah. But one of the principles you learned as a trader early on was, as far as the Greeks, long vega, long delta, short vega, right? And they're basically saying if the market goes up and volatility goes down, right? And your long vega, like a calendar, some type of mixed month trade, it's going to hurt you. So you'd want to be a little bit long delta to long vega. Have you thought on this one to do maybe a 25 delta, or excuse me, a 20 delta call, 25 delta put, or because you just went pretty standard?
Pretty standard. Well, that's a good question. And this is, I wanted to do the visual of what it looks like in a standard kind of without any stuff on it before we look at the back test. So now that we know what this trade is, let's look at the back test.
Yeah.
So this is a Monday DC. I'm going to put this, we talked about this in June.
Oh, I remember this. I was doing, this
Yeah, so almost 6 months ago. So we were doing this in June. And what are we doing? We are opening a 20 delta double calendar on Mondays at 3:05 p.m. It's a 2-4. It's a 20 delta. And we're using one contract per trade for the purposes of this, but please test it with multiple allocations. You're exiting the trade in 2 days, so Wednesday at 2:45 p.m., or you are exiting using leg deltas. And the deltas on this are when the short put goes above 70, so you're in the money, or the short call goes below 70 delta, so you're in the money on the call. So those are the two things. Now, I am only running this 22 times. You can go back and run it, and we did it in June. SPX, since SPX dailies, whenever you want to run it, it's fine. Matt, what initial thoughts on this? Dan, you remember this one? What do you guys think of this one?
I mean, DCs are my bread and butter. I trade a lot of them. I've been trading some QDCs for variety here. The QDCs are directionally the same as SPX. There's been more variety than I realized, which is actually really bullish for me personally, because now I'm going to probably find a bunch of new DCs to add. But yeah, I mean, for some reason, people have a hard time wrapping their mind around DCs. I don't know if it might be easier for people to realize they're condors.
Yes.
With one of the legs with two of the legs at different times. But they behave differently, the condors. And
well, and at the same strike.
Yeah. So maybe condors is sorry. Bad example. Scratch that. Here's the thing though. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's not rocket science to find a good DC. The problem is not finding DCs. I think the problem for a lot of folks is sticking with them. And I think there's a variety of reasons for that, but just in summation, DCs lose basically two ways. The vol tent collapses. Troy talked about this. Vol tent collapses, or they move too far past the strikes too early. That's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're Origami Man said it much better than my misspeak on the condors. Discounted strangles is another way. Again, they don't win exactly like a strangle because there's an amount of time. But here's the thing. That little bit of extra complexity, I think, is part of the reason why there are so many good trades. Because the edge, Dan, would you say this is true? The edge is tough to price in a DC because of that element of time that's different than some of these other trades. And that goes for all time spreads, long diagonals, short diagonals, etc.
It does seem, I mean, you think about it, you have, and I had a question for you, a couple questions, but I mean, when you think about it, I just think it's fascinating that you might have Troy, Matt, or Rusty, or a lot of the DC people in the community. You might have a schedule of, would it be fair to say 10 different DCs going in, multiple, from a 2-4 to a 5-7 to a 9, I mean, you've got so many combinations. not that you can't do an iron condor. Okay, 0 day. I'm going to do one 2 days. I'm going to do one 5 days. I'm going to do one 7 days. But I agree with you. It doesn't seem, maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't seem to work as well with the DCs, right? That you have this plethora, whatever that word means, of variety. Matt, 2 questions for you. And Troy, on your DCs, would you say, because you do a lot of, both of you, a lot of DCs, would you say that the majority of them, you give a little bit of higher delta in the calls, lower delta in the call, higher delta in the put, or would you say the majority are the same delta, number one? And number two, how many, addressing what we just said, how many different variety types might you have on at one time? 7, 8, 9, 10 in terms of, a 2-4, a 5-7, a 6, I mean, are you having scheduled, more than 7, less than 7? So 2 questions: more than 7, less than 7, and what's a typical delta configuration that you might do? I mean, I've always favored more like, but I've done more double diagonals, to be honest with you, than double calendars. So I'll start things at a 30 delta for the shorts and then move based on, I'll look at, okay, start me at a 30 delta. Then let's look at the volatility. Let's look at some, because again, historically, I haven't been using, the automation. Now I'm coming back and I like it a lot, but that's how I've historically would look at the volatility. And I would be more to let the middle sag, right? To let the middle sag when I was really comfortable with the volatility. But again, I'd be doing more, at the earliest, maybe 9 days out, 9 to 15 days out. So volatility becomes more important. But those two, excuse the rambling, would it be more, what do you normally do on your deltas? Just some, and how many? Just to give people an idea.
The short answer is markets go up over time. I don't usually lean short delta, although here's the thing. This is something I'd love to get into, is adding some shorter delta DCs into my basket. But in general, long delta markets go up over time. And and
the question is, do you need the short delta with, when we go down, the volatility is going to benefit you?
That's right. Yeah. And like, I've experimented with this idea of either just some put calendars or some DCs. Like I used to have one called I used to call it a jalapeno 6-7, and it was basically a call calendar with a very out of the money put calendar on the DCs. And so it had a lower win rate, but that very low, like I'm talking, I'd have to look at it, but maybe a 10, or I might have even had a version that had a 5 delta on just the put calendar. Because you can win on both sides, but in general, the long delta, they're long delta. So yeah, Troy.
I've always kind of done them. I've done a million different ways, but equal distant deltas wise, or the deltas aren't that far off. So if I'm doing like 20, my dog loves DC. So when we started talking about that,
listen, he wants to go to DC land. Option Omega isn't DC land, but we do have some DCs.
I'll do anywhere between like 20 and 30 delta on average. Those are kind of my deltas, 20 and 30 delta.
Now, will you go to a 30 delta on something that expires in 2 to 5 days, or will the 30 delta, do you associate that more with the duration? Will you go like, when you're 9 or 14 days out, or is it ran? I mean, do you have a duration when you think of a 30 delta DC?
I'm not going to do a 30 delta that's like a 30 days out, or a long day. That would be 30 delta would be like under 4 days. That'd be probably my guess.
That's when you would utilize
Yeah, probably. I mean, but you could reverse it. I mean, but the way I would look at it is I do like those higher ones short term to get more juice. It burns.
Okay.
But then use the longer dated ones as like the safety net.
Okay, I got you.
You got a 15 delta, you got 300 point range. Now you could actually reverse that and maybe even win more, but I'm not a smart man.
Yeah. It's a great trade, but I do think, I think Matt alluded to, people get confused with calendars. I think which is good. You want some confusion because everybody would be doing it, right? Its verticals are easier to do, wouldn't you say? I mean, they're more plain forward, except, if you asked me, would I rather have a beginner in a 1 or 2 day DC or an iron condor? From a risk point of view, it's tougher on an iron condor because that thing can, double calendar, you want some movement, right? Iron condor, that risk reward, it can nail you between the eyeballs.
It's brutal.
Anyway.
One thing I'll say real quick, let me share one more thing. You'll notice that I ran this since June 23rd. Why? Because I wanted to show you this, which is I've traded this.
Oh, there we go.
June 23rd. Okay.
I was wondering, that was an oddly specific date, Troy.
It was. So you'll see that we'll go back and forth real quick. The back test says that we would have got $208. The real life reporting says that we got $253. So pretty accurate to the back test, I would say, in a good way. The good kind of accurate, where you make more money in real life. So I also, there's a couple different reasons from that, digging into it, but I wanted to show you kind of how it's been. Okay. And you look at this, you say, okay, below delta, we put this on, we lost 12%, so $24 on 189, right? But the first thing I look at when I'm automating, if you're worried about automation, but you desperately want to automate, here's a couple things, just a couple tips. The first thing I look at is, did any of my rails break down, and did I have a massive loser compared to what the rails should have done? Does that make sense? Like, you want to check to make sure your rails in real life are doing what you want them to do, right? You're not getting out for a massive loss and some sort of failure, right? For instance, like if you had a leg delta exit and you gap down 30 points, in Qs, your leg delta exit's you're going to get hurt, right?
Yep.
So what you want to look at is, are all my rails in line with real life? Is there a way to minimize that? And sometimes there's not, honestly, but that's something at least to look at. And then you start going through it and you say, okay, it seems that most of my winners were just because I exited. I did have this one manual user exit. I don't remember why, but whatever. Maybe because it's 50%. That's probably my guess, is that it was a 50% winner and I got out. But the rest of them, most of them, the winners are, you're exiting at the specified time. The below delta, above delta seems so far in this very small data set to be acting as a kind of stop, right? Now in the test, probably I assume we'll see, given enough time and given enough data, that you'll have above delta and below delta be a winner, right? But we just didn't in that data set.
Yep.
We didn't have that.
A lot of my biggest winners are above delta and below delta, a minute before the timed exit or whatever,
Yeah.
Those are,
yeah.
Get that movement right at the end.
So this is what I want to look at this week. I'll tell you this. I think we can improve this test together as researchers, because I think probably some stuff that's going to help is short long. And we've put some stuff in the app since even June with short long. So I think playing around with short long is going to help. I think going back farther in time, obviously, don't just do since June 23 when testing. Go back as far as you want with this. Test different allocations, but we want to get this thing to where this is like a sturdy Monday trade that we as a community can open up and trade if you want to trade, and and place bets on whether I manually close any of them that I'm going to automate. I think that's safe, Tom, to bet on. So you guys are the research army, and I would love to have this be a test that someone new to the Option Omega community, someone that you know in your community who says, hey, I'm trying to learn how to trade, one that you could hand them and say, this is a once a week thing that you can automate on Option Omega. And it's a good test and you can have confidence in it. You know, I've noticed it's cheap.
Yeah. What's it? A couple $100 for a trade?
Yeah. $180, $190.
See, that's where, you know, I'm still, not that you can't do over $500 for a beginner. I try to keep people under $500, but if it's $180 or $200, they can be John Wayne.
That's right.
You know what? They could do what you did and make it through 17 trades. Yeah. And I think that's what they need to do, is to build calluses. If they start doing $800 trades or $900 and they lose 3 in a row,
yeah,
they're on the ropes.
So be it.
And so, yeah, I think that's a great.
Well, so Army, I always keep calling you guys Army. I'm gonna I want to make some swag, Research Army. But anyway, I want you guys to have a great trading day. Stay safe out there. The massive, violent moves, 5-point candles, 10-point candles. So we'll go from there. But hopefully tomorrow we'll be looking at some good Monday DCs.
And tomorrow, we've already got 2 things from the agenda that we'll talk about tomorrow on the show. Joseph asks, the P&L would be higher if you removed the delta exits. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about if that's a good idea. And also, one I'm curious in, Tom Lee bets on Troy trusting the backtest on all these trades. And Troy, tomorrow, let's dig into, did that trading match the backtest?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah. He said it did, right?
I don't know if it did or not. I mean, we'll look tomorrow.
Is there a correlation between Troy trusting the backtest? We'll dig in. Tune in.
It'll be exciting to see. And to also join us today at noon. The content continues today because
Troy?
Yeah.
Please talk. Say more.
The navigation show starts.
Say more. People don't know.
Steve from Navigation Trading. Well, go and do it. Listen, people are readers. People are smart, Matt. They don't need my dumb mouth to talk. Go to Option Omega Discord and read what's about to happen at noon today, or go to YouTube and see what's waiting on our live channel at noon o'clock every Tuesday. The Navigation Show with Steve. We talked about this last week. We're about to get some content heading your way. Dan is going to whip me into shape to do some content you don't even want to know. So, and that stuff starts today. So Tuesdays, noon Eastern market time, the Navigation Trading Show YouTube channel. We're looking forward to it. So we'll see you then. Have a good rest of the afternoon.